I was trying to think of who wins, but more interesting is who is doomed. The American Aboriginals, Indians, or Native Americans were doomed. The Europeans were as numerous as the leaves of the trees, or Sitting Bull, after Custer was sent to his own place. The Central Powers of World War I had a chance, Germany, etc., but they were central because they were surrounded. Custer finally learned that being surrounded is bad. The Allies, us, need not have had any natural affinity, no compelling shared self-interest. Which of these things, allies, is like the others? Russian? Portuguese? British co-linguists? It's arbitrary. The Aztecs, so-called, were a conquering minority oppressive warrior imperial aristocracy. So, fitting forefathers of the racist La Raza Supremacists, MEChA, their vulture logo is holding dynamite. I wish we could hear more about that from Biden and his minions. He can continue calling all conservatives white supremacists because some ignorance is invincible. But open it up a little, Joe. Inclusiveness, like the way hell and America have expanded their borders. Borders pay. Room and board. Minion, from French mignon, meaning darling or lover, and earlier dainty or gentle, as in filet mignon. Words mean more than they mean, but they mean what they mean, so I am a Native American. I'm not Aboriginal, a word that sounds hard, but it's easy, original. Not that any surviving Aboriginal is authentic. Virtually everyone is here, wherever, because they have displaced someone previous, corporately, that is, as in corporate guilt. We hear too much about that, guilt, and not enough about shame. Remember, if you've ever heard of it, the genocidal Bantu expansion further south in Africa reduced the Khoisan peoples into mere cliquey freak show Hottentot bushmen. The gods must be crazy. Survival of the fittest, though. To the victors go the spoils. But will African Americans pay reparations to the peoples their ancestors enslaved and exterminated? Just saying. The supposedly aboriginal Clovis culture in the Americas about 13,000 years before present, they did it, absorbed, displaced, exterminated. They evicted, replaced, appropriated any number of earlier oppressed minorities which, well, paleontology does not acknowledge individual personalities. But speaking hemispherically, like some obedient, critically racist theoretician, the evil, racist Clovis culture monsters exterminated, what else? Ancient, authentic cultures from perhaps 14,000 to almost 50,000 years ago. Are these sites significant? Sometimes it's just a very few artifacts. But under the next stone might be found the treasures of Atlantis, or Lemuria, or Mu. It's like cockroaches. If you see one, you know there are unseen thousands. Are these dates real? As real as assumption allows. There's inevitably major controversy in this fascinating but minor discipline because the field worker who uncovers the oldest artifacts gets a sort of limited fame, textbook fame, news bite fame, and the previous record-holding scholar is going to object. It's not objective, it's competitive. Ego plus plausibility. This sort of truth is not about reality, it's about consistency. Point is, there's always someone who came before. Sometimes that's an advantage, and sometimes it's a genocide. Do not take my dogmatic assertion as gospel. An easy read is, say, the book of Joshua. God orders multiple genocides. Don't even need to read about it, though. The flood. All of the human race wiped out, almost, on purpose. That's the universe we live in, and the God who made it and allowed it to fall. Don't complain about it, and don't lie. Redeem it in your own life. That's the second part of the book. If first, the first to set foot on the soil, if that really mattered, Antarctica would be Russian, and the moon would be American, except that any number of hapless mariners would have been cast upon the frigid shelves and floes of the utmost antipodes, Cretans, and Phoenicians, and Vikings, and Polynesians, and Odysseuses, and St. Brendan's, the empire of castaways. As for the moon, everyone knows the Nazis got there first. The Jews did not prevail. They persevered. The fact that there were always new oppressors, simply means that the previous oppressors faded away. So there it is. Outlasting is the same as winning.